Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we will catch up with the folks of South Shore Elder Services of Braintree, learn about a couple of their programs. But first, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's already 91 degrees. The heat advisory continues with highs today in the mid-90s, feeling even hotter than that with the humidity. A very uncomfortable night tonight, very hazy and muggy, lows only in the upper 70s, and even a little bit warmer tomorrow. The heat advisory extends through the end of the day tomorrow with some storms possible later tomorrow afternoon. Highs again, the mid, maybe even the upper 90s. But those storms should break the heat wave on Wednesday with some scattered showers in the morning. Wednesday's highs only in the mid 70s, still pretty muggy, and the humidity lasts into Thursday with some showers around. Highs Thursday in the upper 70s. Friday right now looks like some real relief with lower heat and humidity, and next weekend looks very nice. But for the meantime, we are still in the middle of our heat wave. Again, 91 degrees in Quincy right now. In the news today, the system that's designed to let people know if it's safe to swim in the water at state-run beaches, including Wollaston Beach here in Quincy, is highly inaccurate. Save the Harbor, Save the Bay says that a recent study found that the warning signs and the red flags that are used to alert people about unsafe pollution in the water were only accurate on average about 25% of the time. Now at Wollaston Beach here in Quincy, the organization says the warnings were only accurate 13% of the time in 2020 and 36% of the time last year. Save the Harbor says the main problem is that it takes at least 24 hours to test the water samples that are taken from the beaches, and the conditions change during that time. The organization also chastised the state health department for failing to update their website for over 20 years. That means that beach water information is only available in English, and that much of the information is outdated. Save the Harbor says they do stand ready to help the state improve the accuracy and accessibility of the beach water testing program. State lawmakers are still trying to determine if they can approve a bill that would provide tax rebates to many residents and also comply with a 1986 law that would provide tax credits to all taxpayers. A proposed economic development bill would provide rebates to taxpayers who earn between $38,000 and $100,000 last year. Governor Baker also says that a law approved by voters 34 years ago to provide tax credits should be implemented because of the state's $3 billion surplus. State Representative Tacky Chan of Quincy says it's unclear if the state can afford to do both.
A number of places where we would like to have a little bit of a buffer in surplus funds to cover, unexpected cost increases. The state is suffering from inflation just like you. Energy costs are up, our supply costs are up. Doing the business of the government isn't getting any cheaper either. So, yeah, the governor is correct. If you like the fact you have absolutely no space for unexpected consequences in terms of who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So could we do that? Sure, we could spend $1 billion on the rebates plus the tax breaks to cover this year's worth of tax breaks. And then, have maybe $7 million remaining. Sure, maybe, the hospitals are looking for $300-ish million. We're talking about big bucks here to help these industries out. I mean, the hotels are looking at about $50 million. It rapidly adds up. Affordable housing, I believe, is another 200. I mean, it's gone in a blink.
Chan says he does believe that the economic development bill will be passed in informal session this summer. Buses continue to replace MBTA Red Line trains between the Braintree and the JFK UMass stops for the rest of this week. The T says the buses are running today through Thursday from 9 p.m. through the end of service. That's for track realignment and replacement. Project began last week, and the T says when it's completed, speed restrictions on the line will be lifted, speeding up service for passengers. The buses are accessible, and they make stops at all of the stations. Well, a happy ending to a story we first told you about back on Friday. 85-year-old Joan Caffarelli, who was reported missing from her Weymouth home last Thursday night, was found safe on Friday morning. A state police helicopter located Caffarelli behind a garage next to a field off of Hyde Street, not far from her home in Weymouth Landing. Ground crews took Caffarelli to South Shore Hospital. She was in fair condition. Caffarelli suffers from memory impairment and is from out of state. She was staying with family members. Police from area departments were all involved in that search, which also included a drone. That is our check of news. Coming up, representatives of South Shore Elder Services of Braintree are here to talk with us. That's next. Welcome back. Speaking of South Shore Elder Services, we go from pre-recorded to live and welcome Bridget Campbell and Laura Tweedy to the program today to chat about volunteer opportunities and money management services. So ladies, welcome, welcome. Great to have you both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Bridget,
I appreciate
Laura.
it.
Nice to meet you for the first time, but
Nice to meet
hopefully
you.
not the last.
Right.
Because there's a lot going on
There
at South
is.
Shore Elder Services. I guess the first thing we should talk about, Bridget, is you moved since last time we talked.
Yes,
Yeah.
we moved to a brand new building at 350 Granite Street.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's big. It's big, right, Laura?
Oh, it
it's
is.
huge.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Brand new. It's set up perfectly for us.
Well, and it really sets the stage for what you're trying to do is really reach out to the community, let folks know that you're there, that
Exactly.
you have services that are available to them, and that there are volunteer opportunities
Correct.
as well. So it's part of, I guess, like a 5-year strategic plan, right? To
Exactly.
really, really expand and let folks know, even though you've been there for how long now?
2 years.
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But South Shore Elder Services has been around for
for
a lot longer than that. Yeah.
Yes.
And there are different organizations like yours in different parts of the state too, right?
Correct.
That offer
Yep.
services. Yeah. So I
Depends
think it's
upon what
important.
town that you live in. Like we have a lot of communities in our area that we serve Quincy, and so like Brockton would be for like Old Colony,
Yep.
you know, so it would be all different. But if you called us, we could tell you where you need to be.
What coverage area you're in, yeah. But let's talk about your coverage
Yes.
area, South Shore Elder Services.
Yes.
Bridget, you are in charge of the volunteer department, I
Coordinator.
guess?
Yeah, I'm the
Coordinator?
volunteer
Okay.
coordinator for the Meals on Wheels
Okay.
and for the Friendly Visitor Program.
Two of your biggest ones, I bet.
It is.
Yeah.
No,
No?
Laura has one that's bigger than the Friendly Visitor Program.
Oh, okay.
But the Meals on Wheels is one of our biggest.
How's it been going?
It's been going good.
Yeah.
It's people are going back to work.
Yep.
And gas is being a little, the mileage of gas and the price and everything like that.
That's
is
right,
a
because you do
lot.
reimburse drivers.
We do
right?
reimburse
Yeah.
drivers.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you need more help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Quincy, we very much need help. We have 2 centers in Quincy. We have one at Martinson Street, 95 Martinson Street, and we have one in Howe's Neck at on Neck Street.
Okay.
And both could use help as drivers or packing lunches for packing Meals on Wheels. But other than that, we could definitely use your help. You could give us a call. The training's very easy. It's very simple, and your time commitment is an hour.
Okay.
So it's not any more than that a day of when you're volunteering.
So people probably do it on their lunch hour, perhaps?
Some people do it on their lunch
Yeah.
hour, for like some people that work and they do it on their lunch hour. Other people are just doing it, just looking for something during retirement.
Sure. They use their own vehicle, yes?
They use their own vehicle,
Okay.
yes.
And they're assigned a
Certain route for
Okay.
each district between Martins and as well as Howe's Neck.
Okay.
So Howe's Neck could go all the way to North Quincy, and then as well as to the 1000 Southern Artery.
Okay.
Martinson can go from 1000 Southern Artery to Quincy Center.
Are you seeing more people sign up to get Meals on
Yes,
Wheels?
we are. Yes, we are.
Who can obtain that? Who can receive a free lunch, basically?
You just call in a referral.
Yep.
Anybody 60 or older
Okay.
can receive a lunch, you just call our information referral department, make a referral,
Okay.
and they're more than happy to help you.
Okay. And you can, if you choose, contribute, is that right? Or pay
Yep.
a certain amount?
It's all like it's a donation.
Yeah.
Donation based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on what you're able to
What
do.
you're
right?
able to do.
So, but if
so
you can't.
if one month you have a little more money than
Yeah.
the other month, you can do it that way
Okay.
as well too.
All right, and it helps the whole program and
Yep.
reinvested back. Are we seeing, increase in food costs for social elder services?
I haven't heard that
Okay.
yet. I have to be honest, I have not heard that.
Okay.
But anybody that's eligible for a meal, please
Yeah.
give us a call. We'd love to be able to deliver a meal to
Okay.
you. And you'll get a happy face visiting you for the volunteers. So,
Yeah, yeah.
It's a welfare check as well.
True.
That, just to make sure that the consumer's doing okay and not, we just don't. We do a welfare check as well as so if you don't answer your door,
Yes.
we call your contact person just to make sure that everything is okay. So
Because you'll get the same people, right? So you develop a relationship
absolutely, you
with
do.
them. Yeah,
you
I'm
really
sure.
develop a relationship.
So in a way, it's almost, it's not quite a friendly visitor program, but it starts out that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does.
Now, on to the friendly visitor
Yes.
program. Yes, I know that's one that's
One of my
near and
favorites.
dear to your heart.
I
Yeah.
love the friendly visitor.
What is
program.
that, Bridget?
It's a person that goes to somebody's house or speaks to them on the telephone,
Oh.
whatever convenient for the consumer as well as for the friendly visitor.
Okay.
Some people like to start out on the telephone and just say, introduce themselves, find out if they're going to be a good match for each other, kind of like. They like knitting or they like cooking or anything like that. That's when they find that all together.
Okay. About how long is a conversation, would you say?
Usually it's about we say an hour a week.
Really? Okay.
Just to be able to check on the consumer, see how they're doing, find out, when they would like to talk next. Would the next visit be a telephone call?
Oh, okay.
The next visit be a home visit.
Okay, so it's really flexible.
It's very
And
flexible.
it can change from week to week, or?
Week to week.
Okay.
Can change. It's all up to the consumer and the friendly visitor.
Okay.
They make the plan for themselves.
How do you make the match between the friendly visitor and
I
the recipient? You do
make the
that?
match. Yeah,
Okay.
I make the match for the person and see how. I try to if someone likes gardening, I try to do that. I try to do both ways like that.
Okay, so find some common interests. Yeah. Do you need help in that program?
Yes, we
yes,
do.
you do.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Definitely in Quincy, we definitely need some help
Really?
in Quincy. Yeah.
Who can be a friendly visitor?
Anybody can be a friendly visitor. 18 or older.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you have young people
Some people we
paired
do.
with older people? Really? Huh?
We do.
I bet they enjoy. I bet each of them learn something
They do.
in that relationship.
They
Yeah.
do. And the elderly like being kept up to date on the on what's going on with the younger.
Show me how to use this phone, right?
True.
Or this tablet, or fix my TV remote. Or
Exactly.
something. Yeah. Okay. And older folks, you can share how things were
Exactly.
before those things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You have a story you want to tell that tugs
do.
at the heartstrings with the Friendly Visitor Program, yeah.
So one of the friendly visitors was a consumer who loved to cook, as well as the friendly visitor loved to cook. So the person was starting to not remember as much as possible as what they remembered. They was the beginning of dementia.
Okay.
And so what they decided to do was exchange recipes to each other. And what the person ended up doing was she did recipes that were near and dear to her family. And so the first week was lasagna. The next week was the secret spaghetti sauce or something like that. And what they did was after they got a certain amount of recipes and she wasn't doing too well at the end, she eliminated it and she binded it, and she was had 8 daughters.
Wow.
And she handed each daughter with the recipes for all of her mother and her exchange
Yeah.
through the whole process.
Fantastic.
It was really a great story, and I didn't get a picture or anything like that, but it was my only sad part that I didn't get, but it was just a great story. And at the end, when they gave it to each other, they gave a board, and on the board the grandmother's hands were on it, so when they cooked they would have their hands on it to know that the grandmother had touched it.
What a great gift that was.
Yeah, it was a great gift,
Yeah.
and they just still talk about it to this day.
I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
they
And,
do.
You know, in so many families, folks lose information like that
Exactly.
because it's just kind of an oral history.
Agreed.
You know, so to have that.
To have that, and to have the wherewithal to do it before
Right.
she was going to completely not remember anything. Yeah, so she would go through the wooden box, and she would go through the
Yes,
little things and
yes.
see the
The
little
backs
recipe
of,
cards.
napkins and-
exactly,
yeah.
and stuff like that. And so she would actually copy them with the grandmother's handwriting on
Oh
them.
wow, that's amazing.
So it was amazing.
Nice, nice. So that's
Yeah.
something a friendly visitor
A friendly
can
visitor
do.
Absolutely.
for their clients, yeah.
Absolutely. They can do puzzles.
Yeah.
They can do, you know, whatever it is. They could learn another language. They could learn anything that will work for them.
Yeah.
That's going to make them. Some people just like to just go for a walk
Sure.
and just get outside and just
Yeah.
have fun that way. And that's a lot for them. And just to get outside, fresh air, and just enjoy the outside, and or stay in a common area if they're in a building and just sit there and talk and have a tea
That's right.
or
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah,
So.
it's all about the personal relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's very important, Laura, for your program too, to develop a personal relationship when you're dealing with folks' money, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes.
Tell me about your program.
So our program, it's a free program, it's free for clients. Basically, it's to help seniors manage their basic money management needs. So whether that be, you know, just help with bill paying, help with, you know, writing a check. We have a lot of folks with poor vision issues. They're slowly having a cognitive decline that they need just help, you know, managing just a pile up of bills. You know, or they are forgetting to write checks, forgetting to pay certain bills. So our program really helps. It's volunteer-based, so the volunteers, you know, they come out either usually once or twice a month to help them out, depending on the client need. And they just help them, you know, with their, you know, basic money management, check writing, budgeting, you know, those types of services.
Sure. And the control, though, is in the client's hands, right?
Yes,
At all times. I think it's important to
absolutely.
point that out. Yeah.
Yes, we have to have clients that are still, you know, with it enough to participate in the program. You know, they can't be, you know, too much into, you know, an Alzheimer's territory.
Right.
They have to want the services and want the program. And you know, it's very helpful for people.
Sure. About how many volunteers in your program would you say?
About right now, about 23 volunteers
All right.
across all our catchment areas. But you know, we're always looking for more volunteers, especially in the Quincy area. It's great because it is very centralized to a lot of the catchment area. So yeah, so we're definitely always looking for volunteers.
Okay. Does a volunteer have to have a financial background?
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
They just typically like to stay with what they know and they find this program to be a good fit. But you know, all types of people, retired people, people that are still working professionals like to volunteer with the program.
Okay.
And you know, they can work out with the client the time they want to meet with them. You know, it could be, you know, at their, if they work after work time or on a Saturday, whatever between them and the client, what they are able to work out.
Okay. All right. And what is the training process involved for someone who wants to help with the volunteer
So-
money management program?
So we put them through, like, it's just a 3-hour training,
Okay.
and you know, we give them a handbook about the program and the services. Everyone's Corey checked that comes through
Okay. Good
before
to,
we
good
train
to point
them.
out. Yeah.
Right.
Same with volunteers.
Same as all of our volunteers.
Yes.
Meals on Wheels as well as friendly visitors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Right. So yeah, it's a 3-hour training, but it's you know, because we do ask them to do certain things like send us a monthly report, what they're doing with the clients. So we do, you know, have some checks and balances and accounting for the program. But yeah, but it's a fairly simple training, and you know, people seem to really enjoy it, and they learn a few things during
Sure.
the training too.
Yeah. And it's free. You said there's no.
It's free,
No charge for
no
that.
charge,
Okay.
and it's not, you know, it's important that people know it's not a financial plan planning service.
Right.
It's really just for basic, money management.
Right, they're not going to be offering investment advice.
Exactly, or-
telling folks what to do with their money.
Right.
Anything like that.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
or no help with like taxes or anything like that.
Right,
But
good point.
we can refer them to, if they need further assistance with
Okay.
anything. We definitely can refer people to the right place.
Oh, good to know. Okay, that's good to know. And is there a limit on how much of a service they can receive, or is it unlimited?
If they're really needy, they would probably be more appropriate for a rep payee. But typically, our volunteers meet with them a couple times a month.
Okay.
Probably 1 to 3 at least.
Okay.
In the beginning, they might be more intense and need more services, but
Just to catch up on back paperwork,
exactly.
basically? Yeah, okay.
But over time, it might level out to a couple times a month.
Okay, just bill paying time, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But the client signs the checks?
Yes, exactly.
The client has all the information?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they would have to know how to provide, their bank statement, where their checkbook is,
Yep.
all the basics for a volunteer to help them out.
And so many folks are banking electronically now, too. Can
True.
your volunteers help with the...
They can. They
Okay.
just can't have any passwords.
Of course.
It's all very protected. But
Okay.
they can certainly help with online if people prefer to do it that way. I have some clients that like to call over the phone
Yep.
to pay their bills.
Yep.
They can get creative. However, works best for the client.
Okay, all right. And for folks who want to volunteer, contact you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. You can contact South Shore Elder Services. You can ask if you want to volunteer for a money management program. Just they'll direct you over to me, and I'll go ahead and send out an application.
Okay. Now, do you offer any kind of financial education classes at South Shore Elder Services also?
I believe we do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how often they
Okay.
come about, but we probably at least a couple times a year
Yeah. I
we
think
would
you're
have
right.
those. Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
Just for basic overall financial planning. Now, with
Right.
the way the economy has been, folks need to take another look at their budgets, I'm sure.
Right.
And figure out where they want to allocate their funds and prioritize their money. So,
Absolutely.
even to help maybe formulate a budget,
Right.
for somebody.
Budgeting is so important.
So important, yeah.
And a lot of people, as they get older, it becomes less important to budget, and it's the time that it's actually really needed because they're on a fixed income,
Right.
and things are a lot more challenging.
Right. But again, not financial planners.
Correct.
Money managers.
Exactly.
Okay, household money managers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Bill payer volunteers. Yeah, absolutely.
Good, all right. Anything else we should let folks know about your program?
It's just a great program.
Yeah.
People really love it. People that are volunteers, they love to help.
Yeah.
The clients really love the volunteers. It's just a wonderful, wonderful program.
Well, like the Friendly Visitor Program, I would think that, people's money is very personal to them.
Absolutely.
Right.
So there needs to be a level of trust there.
Exactly. And they come to really like the volunteers. We have one client volunteer duo, and they've been together for about 12 years.
Oh.
So it's really great to see that.
I bet,
And they
yeah.
really get along well and have a good working, relationship.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Do you have a financial background yourself,
I
Laura?
do not, no.
Okay. How did you get involved in this aspect of South Shore Elder Services?
I've worked with elderly before, previously, for quite a few years. I love my time with elder
Yeah.
services, and it's great to work with seniors, and it's really wonderful. It's very fulfilling.
Well, I'm sure you can bring a level of comfort to folks if they know that their money is being managed properly and correctly, and they can see it, in black and white, and
Right.
and be able to stay in their home, right?
Right.
Manage their finances with help from somebody from your program.
It's true.
It's a great service. Yeah.
It's really wonderful. It really helps keep people independent, and it's wonderful. It's really great.
And what you said is true of kind of the overall mission, right, Bridget, of South Shore Elder Services. Keep people independent.
Absolutely.
Keep them in their homes,
Yep.
productive as long as possible.
And that's what people want.
Yes.
People want to be independent. They really want that in their lives and feel like they have control.
Absolutely, yeah, and
Yeah,
that is
key.
the key,
It
'cause
is.
when you feel like you're in control,
You are.
and you can stay, and your family, extended family, also feels more comfortable
Knowing that someone's there to help them.
Correct, and that
Yeah.
that person can stay in their own home for as long as they
Absolutely.
want. There is an intake, outreach, and referral service offered at South Shore Elder Services.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, or somebody has a change of mental health or anything that you think they might need services for, we have the volunteer program, but that's not just what South Shore Elders is all about.
Yes.
please give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help you in anything. Any questions that you have, you can call there and they'll refer us to one of us
Yes.
for our programs. If you have a person that you think would do well with Meals on Wheels, just give them a call. They'll be more than happy to be able to refer. Just give them a try, see if you like them, and go from there.
I know there are even services for folks who are in like an assisted living
Absolutely, yeah.
facility, right?
Yep.
So folks should look into that. Don't feel like you're not eligible
Absolutely,
just because
you're not-
of that.
exactly.
Right? 'Cause would money management volunteers go to an assisted living center? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
We have a few right now that
Okay.
are in assisted living. So,
Sure.
yeah,
All right.
it's perfect.
Thank you both. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Always a pleasure.
Oh,
We'll have
always
you
a
back.
pleasure.
Always.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
You're very welcome. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. The heat wave continues with highs in the mid to upper 90s this afternoon. That heat advisory is in effect right through tomorrow, actually. Uncomfortable tonight, upper 70s. Just a tad hotter tomorrow, if that's at all possible. Maybe some afternoon storms. The high 96 degrees. That will break the back of the heat wave, at least in the temperature department for Wednesday, only in the mid 70s. It'll still be pretty muggy, and same thing on Thursday with off and on showers, still kind of humid. The humidity checks out along with the heat by Friday. Thanks again to Bridget Campbell, Laura Tweedy for joining us from South
Thank
Shore
you for
Elder
having
Services.
us.
You are welcome. Thanks to our crew, and thank you for watching. Join us here Friday in the program. Philip Chong from Quincy Asian Resources will be our guest. We're going to talk about the August Moon Festival. Head to our website anytime, qatv.org. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.